to scrap the tweets from anybody or any company, right? So in this section we will try to capture, the username, handle, timestamp, what is the post that he published, then what are the replies, then retweets, and then number of likes on that particular tweet. Okay, once you are done with fetching all these things, further you can utilize them all for sentiment analysis, any sort of, if you're some sort of marketing campaign is happening in your company, if some sort of political campaign is happening, right? So you can use this data for the sentiment analysis, what the people think about a particular topic. You can utilize this data. Okay, so the main topic is how to fetch the data. Okay, let me show you an example. So for example, here I have already written the code, but don't worry, I'm not going to show you this only. I will also show you how to do this thing, right? So when you execute this particular patch, this will simply open the login page of the Twitter account, and after that what you're gonna do is you're gonna try logging into that particular account. So for that I have this patch written over here. So I will execute them all over here, and when you come back, just right over here. So see, this is what gonna happen. So here it entered the username, and then it is entering the password. It is done with entering the password as well. Now it will search for Elon Musk tweets, and then it will go to the people tab, right? And once it is on people tab, then further it will reach to the Elon Musk profile, and then it will scroll down and look for the tweets and fetch the specified items. Once that is done, once it is done with fetching all the required, I have given specific frequency. So once it is done with fetching that, it will just put them all into Excel, and once you get it into Excel, further you can utilize that. You can put that into SQL. This is just a small piece of data which I have tried to extract, because if I fetch long, it will take longer time. Okay, so just to keep it specific, so this kind of data you're gonna get, and further you can utilize that into your analysis. Now let's go ahead and try to do all this thing once again. I'll just put it into the normal mode, and let's come back over here. So this particular task we are going to achieve in 5 main segment, those 5 simple steps. So first step which comes over here is importing the dependencies, then set up the login page, then search for the item. Then once you're done with fetching the item for one tweet, you can automate that, and once that is automated, you need to export that into Excel. These are all the items or list which we gonna create over here, right? So I have just kept that for the reference. So now setting up driver is something which I have explained many times, so I will simply copy this and I will put it over here. I'm not going to waste any time on that, all right? Otherwise the video will be very longer. Now I would request you, please pay attention to all these libraries and make sure that you import all these things. To set up the Chrome driver, I have covered in the first video of Selenium series. You can check that out. Okay, now once I am done with this, what I'll do is I'll just select this all and I will run this. Once I run this, what next gonna happen is it's gonna give me the login page right over here. Once I get the login page, the next part is to reach to this particular search box, sorry, name box. So for that, you saw I right clicked into that and clicked on inspect. I will show it again, but for now let's just proceed. Once you are here, you can just click on this arrow and hover on this. Once you do this, here is what you get. It indicates that this is the particular segment which is representing to the search box. So I can pick any of the locator from here. For example, I'm just going to take this particular locator where name equals to text, and this is residing under input tag. So let's try to write the XPath over here if it is selecting the same, right? So the HTML tag was input, and inside that the attribute which I have to use is name, and that has text. Let's try to see. Yeah, this is selecting it. right? So we are done with making our making the selection tag for username variable or field, maybe you can say, right? So once we launch the page, it usually takes some time to load that. So for that I will just give it 3 seconds. Then here I will just create a box which is called username, and inside that what I'll do is driver find element, and in that we will do finding using by xpath. Oops, xpath, and in that I will put this particular xpath. This is the path which we just checked. Okay, now once you select the username, then the next thing which comes is sending the value inside that. Okay, that means you need to put your username inside that, the login username. Okay, so my login username is gonna be this particular item, learnerea.bot. I would request you not to try logging in using this. Once we are done with this, the next thing which comes is clicking on this next button. So how can we do that? For that what we can do is just click this and look over here. Here we have the next item, next text stored in span class. Okay, so let's just try to find this. So here I would say span, and in that what we can say, the contains, we can use the function contains, and in that what we are looking for is next. All right, let's try to see. Yeah, it just selected it. Okay, so this is the item which we're gonna use. So here we'll say next button, and in the next button I'm going to say driver dot find element by dot xpath, and inside that I will just put this. Once this is created, we need to click on that particular button. Okay, so for that we can do this thing. All right, so once this is done, let's try to run this. Okay, I will execute this, and this will be moved from this page to another page. Okay, let me just run this. Let's come back over here and see what happens. It just entered the password, sorry, username, and now we are on the password box. So let's just see what the password box is, where it can be located. It's just right here. Okay, so what we can use is, we can again use the similar thing. So here you saw we checked all right, not here. In case of username, what we did is we just checked for name which contains text. Here we can look for name which contains password, and the tag is same input. So for simplicity, what I'm just going to do is I'll just copy this and I will put it over here. Okay, this I will say password, and I'll copy this from here and I'll just put right over here. Okay, and once this box is okay, before that I will just give some time to load the page. So this is 3 seconds. Once that is done, so on password we need to send keys, right? So here I'm just going to disclose my password, but again I will request you not to try this. However, after the video I will be changing the password, so you don't have to try it at all, right? So password dot send keys, and send keys we will put this particular password. Once this is done, then the next thing which comes is clicking on this login button. Okay, so for that what I need to do is I'll just click this. Again I will look for this particular thing, and that again under span class. So here instead of next I will simply put login, so it is selecting that. Okay, so the same sort of string we can use over here as well. Next thing which we can, I will create a button, login button, which is, and then I will say driver dot find element. On find element also I have created a separate video. I just need to take care of the spelling and everything, right? So over here I will just say by dot xpath, and just write into this quotation I will put this particular string. Once that is done, then we need to click on this particular button. So for that we will say click. All right, so this is also done. Now once this is done, I will again go ahead and run this. I'll switch to this window so that we could see whether it is entering the password or not. It just entered. Now we are inside the profile. Here I'm entered in my dummy profile. Now if you are non-Indian, you won't understand this language. If you are Indian, of course you can just understand that. Now over here, the next thing which we're going to do is look for the search box, where the search box is. So when you are doing this, don't go the search box which comes over here. That is a different item and this one is different item. I'm going to consider this one. If you want to look for that, you can try that also. That is also acceptable. But I'm just going to use this particular one. So again, if you see, this is under input tag. And what is the attribute or attribute which is containing this particular item? So if you see over here, data test ID, search box, search input. Okay, so I will just copy this particular item from here. All right, so this is all copied. I will try to just grab this from here, and I will just create input, and let's just see if it is grabbing that. Yeah, it just catched that. Okay, so now once we are done with this, all right, so here it says search item and fetch it. So before reaching to that, because when you click the login button, again it will take some time to load, so I'll give 3 seconds to load again. And then here I will click create search box, and inside that I will say driver dot find element, and inside that again by dot xpath. Inside that, it's all the game of understanding the xpath and creating that and identifying the correct xpath, right? And that is very simple, like you can see over here. So once we are done with so this particular string, reach out to the search box. Now once we are done with reaching out to the search box, next thing which we need to do is, yes, you understand, we need to send the string into that. What is it that we want to search for, right? So here I will just create a variable, let's say subject, and whatever the celebrity that you want to look for, you can just, I'll create it at the top so that it will be easy to change. Okay, and here I will just say Elon Musk. Okay, so this is the item which I want to search for, not an item of course. Right, search box dot send keys echo, inside that I'm putting subject. Now when you are done with entering the content inside this, you don't have a button to click on search, right? So what we can do is we can hit enter from the keyboard, and for that we can use search box. This is the object which we have created, search box. Oops, spelling is not correct. I'm going to type it all, search box dot, what I can do is I'll again say send keys, and inside that, why is this doing like this, send keys. Oh god, this is so pathetic. Send keys, and inside that we will just put keys dot enter. Oops, enter. All right, so when you do this, it will simply put the Elon Musk in search box and it will hit enter. Let's try to run this particular part. Let's come back over here and let's just see. It just wrote Elon Musk over there, and now it just searched for that. Next thing which we're going to do is come to this particular tab. So again, right click on this, or maybe we are already in this segment, so I will just select this and hover on this. So when you do so and come right over here, what you see is people. You see over here. So here in span class, span tag, we have this particular text. So we can try this. All right, so let's just try. Here I'm just going to say span, and in that I will use the function called contains, and inside that what is it that it should contain is people. Let's just see if it is holding that. Yeah, it just picked that item. Okay, so this is going to work. Next thing which we're gonna do is reaching to the people tab, right? People, and for that I will say driver dot find element, and inside that I will say by dot xpath. Okay, we are done with that part as well, and inside that we will just say put this item. I'll just do that. Now once this is done, it will click on, it will locate that particular item, then we need to click on that again. People dot click. Alright, so once we do this, it will come over here. Let me try to run this. Just come back over here. So like you can see, we are on people tag. Now we need to look for this item. So what we're gonna do is we will just, oops, sorry, just go back. Let's right click on this, inspect, right over here. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'll copy the complete XPath from here. Copy XPath. I just copied it. Let's just put this over here. So it is grabbing that particular item. So I will just come over here and I'll create an object called profile driver dot find element by dot xpath. Inside that I will just put this particular thing. I will just look for the items if everything is correct or not. This is little longer, but just this is one time activity, so you can just copy paste that, not an issue. All right, so once profile object is created, next thing which we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this profile dot click, and I will put some item to wait for, let's say, 3 seconds over here, and from each of the window change I will put this thing. I'll do this thing, right? So before reaching to this people, I'll also wait. Okay, now I will just run this. So like you can see, we are still at the search page, and let's run this. When you do this, let's see what happens. Here we are in Elon Musk profile. Now the next thing is looking for the items. So here first thing first which we want to fetch is this. Let's do this. So let me first create the variable user tag. User tags, no tag. Okay, so here I have already created the list. In this we will be putting all the user tags. Then here I would say driver dot find element, and inside that by dot xpath, and then here inside this we will put the string. So let's just look for this particular item. Here we are, and what is it that we are trying to look for is Elon Musk is here. So you can do text also, but instead of that what I'll do is I'll look for the username. Let's just go little up, more up. So instead of that I will just take this particular item. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just say div class. So this will, when you do this, it will fetch all the 2 items, Elon Musk and the Twitter handle. Let's try that. So div, and inside that what I'm going to say is this. But before this I just need to use @ and then just close this. So you see it is selecting that particular item. Let's just say that over here, where I'll just put it in the single quote, this usernames. Done. We are done with this also. So this will simply fetch this, and out of this we only require to get the text. And here if you want to see, I will just show you to you. User tag. Let's try to run this and see what comes out of it. Like you can see here we got all the 3 things: Elon Musk, This is the Twitter handle and the timestamp. Now for timestamp, I will again, this is in character form. I'll try to keep it, bring it into the time form so that it will be easy for analysis, right? So I'll just take this variable over here and I'll create another one, the singular one, driver dot find element, and over here I will say by xpath. Let me just type it. I was thinking it will be auto corrected, but it didn't auto correct. Now after that, what we need to do is we need to get the timestamp. All right, so again, let's just select this, come over here, and now here we have it. So like we can see in the time tag, we have date time attribute, right? So let's just copy date time attribute, and from the time tag, we will do this time, we will do it little differently. So what I'll do is in this, I'm just going to get the time tag, and after that I'll say get attribute, and inside that I'll put the attribute name, which is time, and then I'll just print timestamp. Let's try to see if it works. Let's just run this. Yeah, it just worked. You see here, it just fetched the timestamp. Perfect. Now we are done with timestamp as well. Next thing which comes is tweets. Now the real boss comes into the picture. So let's just try to find that also. Driver dot find element, and inside that again we're gonna say by dot xpath, and here we have the tweet. This is the tweet which we are trying to fight in this particular video. So let's just see what is it that we can get. So if you see over here, if you just little scroll up, here we have data test id tweet text. Let's just pick this under the div class. Let's try to check if it is finding it. Div @ this item, this close. Yeah, it is selecting it, and there are 4 tweets which it has selected initially. Remember, this is the scrolling page. We won't have the next button, but this scrolling page, the more you scroll, the more tweets you'll see. But as of now, it can look for 4 tweets if you see over here. So let's just take this and put it inside that. Just change this double quote to the single one, and out of that, all that we need is text. Okay. Alright, so now let's try to print this. Here it will just fetch the first tweet because I am using find element and not the elements. Let's try to print tweet. Print tweet. Let's run this. Here we got that. Feels like deja vu all over again. Ha ha ha. So there must be some, tweet where he has written this particular thing. We again will have to look for that. So it's not necessary that you come, it will fetch this particular one, but it will fetch since in a sequence. Okay, so yeah, that would certainly be somewhere on this particular page. All right, so let's not worry about this, we will see that later on. Now next thing comes is fetching this particular 3 things. So these 3 things are going to be little simpler. Why is that so? Here if you notice, this is the tag for all these 3 things. For reply, if you see, this is under div tag, and under that we have data test id, which is reply. Same thing for retweet, and then same thing for like. So if you prepare the string for one, it's gonna work for rest of the items. So let's try it with reply. Reply driver dot find element, and inside that we're gonna say by xpath, and then we're gonna put the string. Let's just come back to the Twitter page, and from here we will just go back here, and here is what we have. Here we have the number of likes. We just need to look for the tag. So let's just come little up. Here you see reply. We can just take this, create div tag, xpath for div tag rather we can say, and then this. So it just grabbed that. Okay, now let me just put it over here, and just this. Now once this is done, I'll copy paste this. Okay, for retweets and for likes. So I'll just change the name over here, retweet. Okay, and over here I will just write retweet, tweet, and here I will say like, let's say likes. I will just do a spell check if everything is fine or not. Retweet. So let's just click this and come over here, retweet. Let's just scroll up a little bit. So you see retweet is perfectly fine. Then the next item which we're gonna look for is this like. Again, let's just scroll it up. Here you see like, that's in small letter, so it is perfectly fine. Now once this is done, I will just try to print these all items. Print user tag, so for the first occurrence. Okay, then timestamp, then tweet. So whatever it finds first, it will print them all. And then we're gonna say reply, number of replies it will of course fetch. Now fetching the content of reply is a different task, which if you want I can make another video on that also. You can just let me know into the comment section. Now let's just select this and run this. So if over here you can see Elon Musk, this is the Twitter handle, this is the timestamp, and here his one of the tweet which says feels like deja vu all over again, ha ha ha. And then this number, and then here it comes the number of likes, etc, 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 right? All those items are right over here. Okay, so we are done with fetching these all items. Let me just make it singular, not the plural one. Now once we are done with this, we need to automate this. So this is for just one tweet. We need to do the same thing for all the tweets. Okay, so for that what we need to do is we need to look for the parent class which contains all these items. Let's just go and try to find that. So there must be one article class which contains all these particular things. Let me just make it a little bigger. So I will just keep on collapsing this. So let's just collapse this. I'm just closing all this so that we could reach to the parent. Put this one. Then let's just close this also. Let's close this. That is also closed. Here we go. So this is the, no, not this one. Let's just come a little more up, light over here. I'm sorry for this, it is taking longer. So it looks like we are almost there. It is selecting all the items. So just a little more. I'll come up. Right over here, you see this article thing. So if you click on this, like you can see, it is selecting the whole tweet. Okay, whole section. So out of this we need to fetch all the sub tags, right? So to reach to this particular one, we need to look for two things: article and then this particular class. So the main tag which we have is parent tag is article, and the attribute is this one, data test id. Now let me try to find it if I am able to. So here I will just come and I will say article /article, and inside that let's just put this and close this. Is it reaching to that? No. Let me just have a look, because the spelling is not correct. Now it is selecting the same item. Now you see it is selecting 5 whole tweets. Now let's just take this and come over here. I'll create another object which is called articles, and inside that I'm going to put driver dot find elements. So if you notice over here, this time I'm using elements and not the element, because I'm trying to find all those complete tweets on the page, right? So this is done, and inside that I'm going to use by dot xpath, and inside this, don't worry, this is going to be very simple, it's not difficult, okay? So you can just do this very easily. Now this will create the articles list. Now let me just select this and run this. So it is executed. If we just check how many articles are there into this articles, and let's just check the length of it, len article. Let's try this. So there are 4 articles which has been selected. Now what we need to do is we need to iterate through this each of the article in this list and fetch all these items. Let's try to do that. For article in articles, so this is the whole bunch. I'll just put it over here so that I don't make any spelling error. If you are also someone who keep on making this spelling error, this is absolutely fine, not an issue, okay? So this is something which we are done. The next thing which we're gonna look for is user tag. Let me just look for that. User tag equals to, I will just copy this particular item from here and I will just put right over here. All right, so here I just missed to put text, that's why it was showing all those things. And here also I'll just take text. Here I don't need to, because it is directly giving that thing, okay? So this is done, and if you see, it is finding the one element inside this particular article. So if you use this way, / only, so it will look on the entire page. So we need to look for user tag in this particular article only. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to put a dot just right over here. Now once this is done with fetching the tag, what we need to do is we need to append that into this particular list. Now let me take all this list from here. This has been at the down for longer. Let's just put it over here, and we will keep on appending the data into it. Now if you see, I'm making it plural, dot append, append, and inside that I will use user tag. This will be appended. Same thing we need to repeat for all the items. So I'll just copy this and put it over there. I'll just pause. All right, so if you see over here, what I did just right over here, I have repeated for all of the items, right? So I just pause the video so that it doesn't make bigger video, okay, and doesn't waste your time. So you can just do the same thing. It's pretty simple. The only thing which we need to do is change is just put dot over here, right? Just in case you don't forget, I have to do this right in front of you. All right, keep this, remember, if you don't do this, it will give the incorrect result. It is likely to give you the incorrect result. So I will run this particular thing, and what it will do is it will you see at the end I have kept the print statement. So it will run and it will keep on printing for each of the extract. Let's try to run. What do you think? Is it going to work? Let's just see. Yeah, it just worked. Bravo. So we are done with this. Here it is, just here it done fetching the item and putting it, right? The next thing which we're going to do is, but this is only fetching for those items which are visible at one screen. Now next thing which we need to do is we need to scroll down, right? So you see, whatever is visible on this particular screen, it is fetching for that item only. So I will just close this for now. We don't require it. Now we need to write the statement for scrolling it down. So for that, what we need to do is we would require to use a JavaScript, okay? Don't worry, it is going to be very simple, simplest one, okay? So that I already have written over here. I'll simply take it from here and just put that. You can also do a copy paste of that item, this particular one. So here we simply say this thing, driver.execute script, and this particular thing, right? So once this is done, it will scroll it down. Now when it scrolls down, next thing which we have to do is we again have to fetch this item, because on every page we will have to reset this particular thing, right? Once it is fetched, so before moving with the next step which we have over here, this for loop, what we will do is we will check the length of the tweets, how many tweets we already have extracted, right? So for that, what I will do is I will create another variable which is called tweets, and let's say here I will say set, because I'm trying to make it unique, and then I will again convert it to list. Done. Now after this I will check the length of this. So I would say simply say if len widths, let me just change this name, and let's say widths 2, right? Oops, the spelling is not correct. Just one second, I keep on making the spelling errors mainly because of this spider thing here. You see it keep on interrupting in between. So if length of this particular item, so it will just set will do the unique, will fetch the unique tweets and again convert that to the list. This is already a list, so I'm converting it to the set because set doesn't allow the duplicates, so it will just make it unique, and then again it will convert back to the list, and whatever list we have, we will just have that stored in over here. Okay, and on that we are just trying to check the length, and I will just do it for 5 tweets, right? And then after that I will break this. But for to run this particular thing we require a while loop, right? So how can we get that particular while loop? Here we just gonna say while true. True spelling is not correct, man, you can't do this. And then after that we just need to do one single tab. This is it, right? So once you are done with this, what it gonna do is it will run, scroll down, and it will fetch the tweets till we have total 5 tweets into this particular thing. Okay, so let's just run this. I'm just going to execute this, and let's see if this throws some error. Let me just run this. Syntax error, invalid syntax. It says break is not in sync. What is the problem? It shouldn't be the case. If len greater than this, then break. Greater than 5, then it should break. Okay, I don't need the semicolon over here. Sorry for that, guys. Now let's just come over here, select this item, and let's just run this. Let's see what happens. It is running. Done. It's done with the execution. It is done with fetching all the items. Now let's just see what has happened, what all we got, right? So let's just check. There will be one issue, right? Let me just try to print the tweet. TWEET as tweets. All right, let me just print this. Let's see what is it then. So we got all these tweets. How many tweets that we have? Let's just check that. Len, and here we go. So we have total 19 tweets. Are those all unique? Let's just see that. 11 are unique, 19 and some of them are duplicate. Okay, nothing to worry about. We can just make it unique on the later stage also. In the data also we can just make that unique. Okay, nothing to worry about. All right, so now once this is done, the next thing which we need to do is put this in the data frame. So for that, what we can do is import pandas as pd, and then let's run this. Before that, let me just see if I have the print statement available over here. Yes, I have it. Let me just take this and try to validate for rest of the items as well. Okay, it is important. Sometimes it happens, it fetches the wrong item, so we don't want to do that. So all of them have 19, 19, 19. Tweets is unique. I'm keeping that unique. So let me just make it also. Let me allow duplicates into that as well. Let's just see. 19, 19, 19. We have it all 19. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now the next thing which we're gonna do is import the pandas and create a data frame. Df equals to, we can simply say pd dot data frame, and inside that we need to provide the list. So but we have separate list for all of these items, so we will zip that list over here. Okay, and for that I will simply copy paste from here just to save the time. Okay, this is all done. Now we have the name of all this list, user tag. Let me just see. Yeah, it is user tag, and then similarly we have timestamps, then we have tweets. I'm just trying to validate if a spelling error is all set or not. Then retweets, and then likes is all fine. Next thing which we need to do is we need to provide the column name. So same column name we can provide, right? So that I'm again going to copy paste over here. There is one more comma. Okay, and once this is done, I will try to see the head of this top 5 elements. Okay, pardon me if the video is being little longer. Okay, but you are going to get a value of this. You see here we have our data extracted. Right now, once this particular thing is done, next thing which we're gonna do is we're gonna export this in Excel. So how can we do that? Let's just say df dot to Excel, and inside that what we can do is we can just say, what is it saying? Okay, that's some other error, please ignore this. Okay, df dot to Excel, and just right over here we will put the location where we want to export it, so that we just have right over here, or maybe I can just copy paste the location from previous script. Let me just do that. Come back over here. I have this location from here, and at the end I will show you also how to automatically open the Excel file, right? So don't miss that. So here I will say Twits live. I'm just going to say live. Now let's just run this. Well, that is also executed. Now to open this automatically, you need to import OS library. Import OS, and in OS library you have another application which is called system. I will just copy paste it from here, os.systems, and inside that you want to say start. What is it that you want to start? Excel. You can open any application, and then you need to put the name of that particular item which you want to open. Let's try to run this. If it opens, do you think it's gonna open? Let's just try to do that. Well, I have executed it. It is taking longer. That's possibly because it is not executed yet. Let me just select this and execute this. Here we go. It is opened. Bravo. Let's just see. Here we go. Here we have all these items. So if you want, you can just separate this, right? I'm not doing this. That is very simple. If you would like me to do that, you can just let me know in the comment section. I will do that as well. Okay, so if you see over here, this appears to be the duplicate item. So what we can do is we can just remove duplicates. Let's just see, all the duplicates are removed. You see how simple was that, removing the duplicate? That's why I was not doing in the script. So you see, these all are the scripts, these all are the tweets which we have just extracted for Elon Musk. Now enjoy the time. This is how we can do the extraction of all the tweets. Now let me know in the comment section, how did you like this video, whether it was helpful or not. If you would like me to make some improvement, I will do that. Just let me know into the comment section. Subscribe, like and share with your friend. Thank you very much once again. Wish you very all the best.